Welcome back to Melbourne Strength Cultures podcast. Number one in the hearts, number one in the charts. We're back with the boy there's. We're rolling boy there's. We've had plenty of guests on in the last couple of months, so we're just going to keep rolling boy there's for a little bit. We do have a couple of guests lined up. They're coming. One that I'm really looking forward to, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But how we been, boys? What's news? Bouz, you've had a quarter-life crisis.
Yeah, I've had a bit of home alone time. So this is my one outing per week. And
boys pick you up,
and the boys pick me up.
Today you were waiting on the sidewalk like a grade 3. I was going to say when you're like 10 years old or 12 years old and you're waiting for your mum to pick you up, and she's like 3 or 4 minutes late. She's like, "Oh, where are you, mum?" Like kick the ground, like he was just sitting there.
I needed it. I haven't had that much like outdoor oxygen. You know what I mean? Like going outside, I just haven't been doing it. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna biohack my way to a good day.
Sun the record.
It was pre-midday sun exposure. I couldn't. It was front yard, so I couldn't sun my nuts. But I was just kicking it out front, waiting. Bit of fucking Hubie.
Were you barefoot? Were you barefoot?
Nah, I couldn't ground on asphalt. And plus, I got this boot. Got this hectic boot.
So, wait, I just got Bouz with the boot, like grinding it in
trying
dirt.
to find it.
So yeah, no, that wasn't it. There was a bit of
butter in the coffee.
No, there was no butter in the coffee.
Only nasal breathing.
Yeah, that's my nasal breathing right now. I'm close to mouth taping, like at night, but I feel like I'll die.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder, like, what if your nose is like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like there's a bandwidth of acceptable like nasal function before you mouth tape for sleep. Like for me and that, I feel like
dangerous.
It could be dangerous. So I might need a spotter.
What's it like? Someone to check your pulse every minute. Like,
yeah, just watch me.
What's the saying with like when you put a frog in a cold bowl of water and then overheat it over time and it doesn't know that it starts boiling and it dies, like the frog dies?
Murder? I don't know.
No. There's like a thing. It's like I'm sure most people know, but it would be the same with you. Your oxygen saturation just ever so slowly just deteriorates over the 8 hours that you're just dead in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should try it out.
Do it for science.
We'll do it for science. We'll see what happens. But yeah, my quarter life crisis. I don't know. I've had a lot of home alone time. And then I started questioning everything. I listened to the podcast last week and I'm like, fuck, man, what are we doing? It was hilarious. And then I was like, is it just funny to me? Like, am I the only one finding this funny? And then I started questioning my social media strategy. I'm like, fucking, what am I doing there? I'm just posting tracks on my story every day. I'm like, there's no fitness content. I'm like, what am I? My coach? And then it sort of led to really nothing. I've started reading more. But that's about it.
That's good.
About it.
What have you been reading?
The strength training manual. I feel like I've picked it up here and there, the Mladen Jovanovic book, and he's just on another level.
Yeah.
He's just on another level. Like he writes it about in the context, and this might be a good little segue, but he goes, this is in the context of team sport athletes more so, and I think it'll be extrapolated to Gen Pop as well, just by way of you don't understand what's going on, like life.
The varied lifestyle.
A varied lifestyle, more variables and external stresses that you're dealing with, as opposed to the strength athlete where a lot more is like controlled. And I think we see it with like a youth strength athlete more so.
I definitely think that's because as we've talked about, everyone's Gen Pop, but I think that kind of segment of people who kind of aren't Gen Pop because their life is so controlled that a lot of these variables don't have to be taken into consideration are young powerlifters, maybe don't work a lot, don't have a lot going on outside of the gym. They train the exact same times every week. Their nutrition's probably fairly controlled. Their sleep's probably fairly controlled.
Nutrition's controlled by Nonna.
Everything's tracked down to the gram. Like,
hey, Mama, can you track that?
Hey, Mum.
Hey, Ma.
Hey, Ma. Meatloaf.
Oh, God.
I just feel like that's the common sort of argument you see against a lot of like these auto-regulation strategies by way of training. Just training is probably the biggest one. Like, PE intensity, fucking reactive deload versus proactive, whatever the fuck. It's always generally like the opposing view is either, I don't know, by someone that hasn't been in it for an extended period, or
it's definitely the 22-year-old personal trainer / powerlifter who tracks every macro to the gram. It's like, what do you mean? Just eat less and move more. Come on, like.
So we've got a guy, the Fitness Genie on TikTok. He's got a big following, but he's actually joined the Mentorship. And he did a fantastic one yesterday. And I know you and I would have definitely done this when we were PTs. Yeah. I don't reckon you would have the personality trait to do it, but I reckon me, you and Charlie definitely. And we all have the same 24 hours in the day.
No, I never did that.
But it's like when that piece of advice comes from a 21-year-old personal trainer to a mother of 4 full-time worker, it's like, yeah, but we all have the same 24 hours in the day. Like,
yeah, like if you coach anyone other than like 18 to 22-year-olds, you realize, yeah, there's actually other priorities in the gym. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Like for most people,
it's like you piece of shit. You're trying to tend to your child. Come on, man.
Your child's unwell and you missed a session. What the fuck? Like,
piece of shit.
Have you tried going to bed earlier?
So we tried getting rid of exposure to blue light before bed. That might help.
Yeah. No, and I don't know. I just found that the book itself, it just answers, and it just I don't know.
To read it.
You need to read it. I don't think there's a mind in fitness like him. Mike Teixeira, for sure, but I think, and then this makes
Mike Teixeira is definitely from the same cloth, like without a doubt. Yeah,
for sure. I don't know. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. But again, I don't know. Maybe it's the echo chamber because I believe everything is reading, everything that he's putting down. Am I still in the chamber?
Are you still in the chamber? You just changed chambers.
There's always exactly.
The chamber
We're always in
of
the chamber, just which chamber you're in. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't. Well, we need the feedback from the loyal listeners. The potty's growing, the numbers are growing. So
yeah, I came in this morning. Bouz was a bit rattled about the last episode. I said, Jamie, what are the stats? He's like, they're up. I'm like, crazy, done. But tell us, if you think we ramble a bit too much, should we talk more about fitness? You're the listeners. Let us know.
Well, I think the two contrasts are the last episode, which I think was episode 38, which is literally just a catch up. But as we said, we hadn't seen each other. You've been at home. We hadn't done a Boy There's Ep for a while. Maybe we had, but we hadn't had just didn't have it the way we had it. That makes no sense. But and then the other one was the one where it was just me and you, Didier.
It was like straight Q&A.
Straight Q&A, real like formal chats about like the future and
brains trust.
Yeah, brains trust. It was almost like a meeting. So there would be the two contrasts. Tell us, are we on the right track or whatever?
Do we need to move more one way or the other? Somewhere in the middle? Yeah. I reckon it's somewhere in the middle. I reckon that's where
as we always say, we're fumbling our way through this as with everyone else on life, and just we don't have all the answers of what we want or where we want to be and go. So
what we do have is the data, and the data is up.
The data is definitely up.
And we know where we want to go, and that's straight to the top.
Straight to the top. Number one. Absolute number one. Didier, what's the news with you? How'd you go basketball?
Didn't score 10 points. I'm sorry. I scored 7 points. We're on the up. Although, here's the thing. So, it's Monday Night Basketball. The scorers might get it wrong. I swear to God, I scored 7 points. So I was 3 of 6 from the line. And then, so it gives me 3. And I swear I scored 2 other field goals. But it had me listed at 6 points. I think I should have been 7 points. Look, we're deliberating over the little minutiae here. But we played well. We lost, but I was happy with how I played. But we're not yet at 10 points.
Yeah.
But we're heading there.
Did you win?
We didn't win. No, we didn't win. But I was happy with how I played.
Did you have a full squad?
We had a full... we never had a full squad.
All right, never had a full squad.
We had 7 people. One guy came as a fill-in, but then the other team had 5 players, so he just joined the other team. Like, crazy, man. Like, I thought you were here for us. What's that? And then they beat us. Like, brother, what's happening here?
What are you doing, you dog?
Play for personal stats, man. Real Westbrook-esque.
That's it. Like,
you have to.
Team losers, I scored more points. All the
It's all right. Yeah. Secure the bag. Triple dubs.
Secure the bag.
No, having fun.
100%.
It's good fun.
All right. Well, we've got some questions for today, which we're going to be rolling through. The first one from J-Hole, which we haven't really been shouting out a lot.
Also,
what's J-Hole been up to?
First up, shout hole. Shout out to, there's too many holes. Shout out to J-Hole Maletti, who will be starting work at the Strength Fortress next week, doing 2 shifts a week. They had an opening up there, so congratulations to J-Hole, very well earned. So yeah, he's still going to be at Woodford a bit, and then transition hours across there, a couple nights a week to start. So
heavy.
Shout out J-Hole.
Nice, J-Hole. Well done. So J-Hole asks, what are some of your training mistakes that you made when you first started lifting?
I think the first thing that comes to mind with me is thinking that training for hypertrophy was like one goal and had to be done one way, and that strength training was completely different. Whereas if I was to go back, I'd realize both of the goals complement each other, and you don't need to like shoehorn yourself into one box or the other.
You actually posted this 2 days ago. Must have been in your crisis when you started reading.
Yeah, it was.
About the biomotor qualities. We might get a little sports sciencey here for some people, but the biomotor qualities or the outputs, and they're not distinct baskets. They really do cross over so much. John Keeley sort of periodization challenges that as well.
Yeah, well, if you train for quote-unquote muscular strength, that's not the only quality that you're going to see improve. You're probably going to see muscular endurance improve to some extent, speed, whatever the fuck the other biomotor qualities are. But you're not going to see it be this sort of like linear binary improvement. It's everything affects everything else. And it's like, I guess that... I forgot who said it. I think it was Lyndon ages ago, one of the JPS seminars. He's like, if you get good at 10s, you're probably going to get good at 8s. And if you get good at 8s, you're going to get good at 6s. And you get good at 6s, you're going to get good at 4s and so on. It's not going to be like you just train 10 reps. You're only going to get good at 10 reps and build muscle. So yeah, no, it's not going to be this linear thing. You see one output or one result. Again, fucking...
Yeah, well, periodization is a term that you've probably heard. Being like the way in which we structure training, and it from where it originated from, like Soviet, Russia, all that sort of stuff, and how it was originally, like block periodization was how it was originally sort of set up, which would be like you'd train, like a typical linear block periodization would be like you do strength first, and then you do like power, and then you do speed or something like that, and it would be a very linear sort of one ends, the next one starts, and you change all the variables all at once. Where what we've started to learn about biology and adaptations and all of these sort of things is it's a lot more of a grey area. And as you said, Jamie, like when you push one thing, you're generally picking up sub-qualities all around the place. Yeah, we can bias certain things in a block, and it might be a hypertrophy biased block, but you're still going to be getting stronger. You're going to be improving technique, and all of those sort of things will help with everything. And you've probably seen it with your time off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like shit's moving. Like I'm not even into. I haven't finished the first block and hitting high bar PB.
Yeah, high bar
PB, 5 kilo high bar rep PB. Closing it on a bench, triple PB, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah, it's nuts. Like
triple as well. That's top end.
Yeah,
that would be
like,
classified top end strength.
115 at like 8.5, and then the last time I did a triple that heavy was like 122, and that was like fucking hard. And that was after months and months of like powerlifting specific training. So definitely helps putting some more muscle on your frame for sure. Like obviously goes without saying, but this is what it all leads back to. Whereas 18-year-old Didier almost thought like, okay, I'm gonna now completely shift my focus. Almost like I was going from playing basketball to playing cricket. That's what it was in my brain. Like now I'm gonna be doing strength training as opposed to hypertrophy training, when really just do whatever. Do a bunch of things, do a variety, just get better at all of it. It all helps everything.
Yeah, quite often it's just...
Especially earlier on.
Yeah, quite often it's really just minor tweaks to exercise selection and probably rep ranges. And maybe volume to and fro, but even with strength training and like powerlifting training, if you can handle more volume and you can progress on it, like you're probably better off doing a little bit extra anyway.
And for people who are newer to strength training, if you want to get strong, it's most likely that the muscle on your frame is going to be the biggest roadblock. So yeah, improve your technique, get good specifically at the lifts you want to get better at. But if you just get more jacked, that's going to help you more than anything, especially in those earlier years for sure.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see once you get into like singles and all of that sort of shit where you're at. Yeah. How has the training been otherwise?
Yeah, it's been good. Squats are moving along, chipping week by week. So is bench. Deadlifts, because I'm trying mixed grip. My hands are just fucked because I've got fairly good deadlift strength, but my hands are like someone who's never fucking trained in the gym. Because like the first time I pulled 180, it was hook grip. I never did mixed grip. I was always hook grip and straps.
So you started hook grip?
I started hook grip. The first time I ever maxed my deadlift out.
How did you do that? Who did you learn that from?
I think it was probably Omari stuff. I picked it up there, and I literally just tried it one day. I'm like, oh, this feels all right. So I think I hit 170. And then 180 was like at fucking Muscle Factory Ringwood. And then
so you've never trained grip strength?
Never trained it. So my hands have zero tolerance. So that's being a bit of a
them thumbs, man.
my thumbs are great, hands no good. Like I'm like, oh my god, this is so difficult. How do people ever pull mixed grip? But so that's a bit of a.
Why are you going to mixed grip?
I've tried it and it's felt good. And because I'm nowhere near competing, I'm like, let's see how this goes. If it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, hook grip's always there.
Because you've got them chimp arms. I reckon you'll be good. Yeah, you'll be good either way.
For sure. Yeah. I'll be fine. But we've got to build some hand tolerance.
How is your deadlift strength?
Strength is good. Like pulled 225 for 5 2 weeks in a row. But then since then, my hands have just been like ruined. Like they're opening every session. So I've started like filing my hands to try and get rid of the calluses. Because if there's no callus like there, it can't really rip open. But the strength is there. Everyone loves to say the strength is there, but it is there. It's just my hands are fucked. My hands are fucking child hands. I have no hand tolerance.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would not have picked that. I can't believe you started with hook grip.
Like very early on. Like I would have done, when I was like, deadlifting like 120 for reps, I would have done mixed grip. But then as soon as I started trying to push heavier, it was always hook grip. Hook grip and straps, yeah.
Yeah, and straps. Yeah, you've always used a lot of straps. I have noticed that. That's interesting. Wow. Omar Esoff, shouts out. What a go.
If we want to go back to, I was talking about mistakes, pushing me in a better direction, he was definitely, I think we've talked about before, he was a major influence. And he was kind of how I found powerlifting and Mark Bell and all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't believe he did a TV show with the History Channel.
Yeah, he has a show on the History Channel, which is nuts. We talk about people who've transcended the industry. He's just left it. He's on the History Channel.
He's on the History
Channel. Talking
Channel.
about like fucking ancient training methodologies.
Yeah,
like
the Romans.
How they used to train.
It's actually crazy. Yeah.
One of our major goals is to get on the community channel.
One
episode.
Fucking oath.
One episode.
We can fund it ourselves.
Yeah, we can fund exactly. Strength culture
With the
variety
cash?
half hour. That like Ronnie Johns. Did you remember Ronnie Johns half hour?
Yeah. That was some funny shit.
Chopper, Kentucky Fried Chicken. We should have just a variety half hour.
Fuck yeah.
We can have 30-second skits like just chops. J.O. Maletti, air guitar.
Real chaotic.
Yeah, just real chaotic. That's it. That's how we transcend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Dan Sterling in there.
What does it cost to get on Channel 31?
I don't know. It's
Fat pizza.
We got that mattress plug. If anyone's got the hookup at the community channel, let's fucking get us on there.
I thought that weren't they gonna
get us a quote.
Weren't they gonna shut down like a couple years ago? I thought they were gonna just stop, but then they're still around. And they're waiting for us.
It's actually crazy that Fat Pizza was on Channel 31.
Nuts.
Was it?
Wasn't that a Channel 31?
I feel like it was an SBS thing.
Maybe SBS.
Oh, maybe I'm getting mixed up. Yeah.
I mean, we take SBS. If anyone from SBS, like
We'll take whatever. So more errors in training when we first started. What do you got, Bouz?
For me, I had this incessant desire to get shredded before getting into a surplus. When I was lean, I wasn't overweight at any point in my high school time. I was training boxing. I was running fucking 30 Ks a week. I was training Muay Thai at the time, sorry. And I was 30 Ks a week plus. So I was lean. And I was like, I'm going to get shredded. So I was tuna rice every day. And I hated it. And then I'd binge all the time. So I should have just got myself into a surplus straight off the bat. I would have gotten way bigger and way stronger. So that was number one. And then number two was program hopping. A lot. For me, it was I read bodybuilding.com. I'd write a program and then I'd run it for 2 weeks and then I'd create another iteration that was pretty much the same program, just different exercises because I'd read something new. And then I thought, that's the best way. And this is the best way. And that's the best way. When it was all the same fucking way, it was just not executed for a period of time that actually allowed for gain.
Consistency, doing one thing.
It was one thing. So, yeah, it could have been, quote unquote, suboptimal or whatever. But the consistent effort would have just seen me get better at exercises, which would have seen me get stronger at those exercises, which would have seen more tension on the muscle, and I just would have been bigger and stronger. So that was probably the biggest issue, was just program hopping for a long time. I'd either ride them, or then I heard of starting strength, and that was when I saw the most gain, except the lower back pumps. My deadlift was
that's not wrong with your lower back pump.
Oh, it was so good.
Deadlift was low back day.
The deadlift was low back day, and every time I remember training with Hadi Suki.
Shouts out.
Shouts out. And it pull deads, and every time you lower back pumped? Yeah, well, mad, that feels good, huh? It was sick.
I literally had the exact same experience with Charlie at Bentley Fitness Center, and he's like, I feel it heaps in my back. And I remember tapping him on the low back and here, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's good. It's like a memory in my head. I know exactly where we were standing.
Same one. Exact same. Me and Lucas Savin. Shout out Lucas Savin. He was one of the Donny gym boys. We've trained at lunchtime. We were repping out 100 on deadlifts, and the next day we both bumped into each other in the courtyard, and we're both trying to bend down. You can't bend past your knees. Yeah, great. No pain, no gain. Some shit like that. That means it's working. We're just fucking our low back. So
that was one of my biggest issues for years. I just could never understand what deadlifts were on low back day. Low back day. They were always programmed on back day. I'm like, what part of the back? I'm like, do I need to like retract my shoulders and get lats there? Or
you see a lot of those
just training low back.
These ones, fucking shoulders back at the top. Like they lock it out and then they pull it. It's like, oh, that hurts. Fucking just to watch.
It's like the excessive glute squeeze at the top of a squat, and they literally like, and there's no load on your glutes. Like there's no load on your
It's just sensation.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. Funny, something else that came up. My phone like shut itself, and I was backing up all my photos, and I found the assessment video from when you signed up at the gym.
Oi.
And then I found a text message. I have to go and find it, but I found a text message that I sent to Charlie. Obviously, I was having a bit of a quarter life crisis then.
Yeah.
But I said, in the text message, Charlie's like, oh, it will all be all right, man. I'm sure we'll continue to grow. I must have been like, whatever. And I'm like, I've got to look at the good things. I just did an assessment with a really good young coach who's come and sees us as like authorities on like shoulders or something. And it was about you. And I was like, man, fucking here we go. So I was having a little quarter life crisis there.
Oh, constantly.
But I've got the video of you doing like this one, and like your scaps are fucking all over the place and whatever else. Yeah,
that was a day. That day changed my life.
Yeah,
the trajectory. And I got back a week later. My mum was a big S&C, like, what the fuck is this profession? The whole time. Because the old choco, and even just like the old, like, not old, but like the 40s to whatever, it's very like you get your degrees. You get a degree, and then you build up. You got to get the next degree, and then you become an authority and whatever the fuck, just by way of being educated, and you got that on a piece of paper. So at the time, it was a bachelor degree, and I was fumbling through, but I was at Dandenong City doing soccer strength and conditioning, and it was a real defensive thing. My mum's pretty much like, you can't set up cones for the rest of your life, Jamie. Like, what's next? But the thing is, I was like super defensive, but looking back on it now, I was setting up cones. Like honestly,
that was your value.
Like I was setting up cones. I was setting up cones, but that was my ladder stepping.
I was setting up codes at Port Melbourne in the VFL, but I used to tell everyone, I'm strength and conditioning coach. Strength and conditioning, I was running the strength training for the junior guys. I will take that.
Yeah.
And then the rehab guys, the injured guys that didn't have like real bad injuries, but just like, I can't play for 2 weeks, so I roll my ankle. Better that. But there was so much cone setting up.
My first role was setting cones and then taking weigh-ins, but I had zero respect from any of the players. Like zero. Running the warm-up, like, who the fuck's this guy? For one, I almost got into a fight in the first week of my time there. I had some hectic guys. Like I was passing bands out, like mini bands, big activation.
You got
it. Big glute activation guy. And some guy fucking grabbed the band out of my hand. He's like, give me the band, you dickhead. And I remember the first day, the coach I was working with, he's like, it was almost like, you hear jail stories. But like if anyone starts you, then you fucking start them back.
You have to go.
So I had to go. And I'm like, I was this 18-year-old coach working with senior players at fucking Danny City.
If I don't stand up now, I'm never going to stand up.
So I'm like, you're a fucking dickhead. Kicked off, and then I don't know, it was just, that was like my first exposure. And I don't know, I found the rest of the season, I was just like, warm them up. Sit there. They didn't give me my credentials, so I couldn't sit on the bench. So I'd like sit on the fence, and that was my first role. And then Mum's like, she's like, you can't set up cones for the rest of your life. Thank God the next job I got was an actual fucking role.
Yeah.
And it was a team that respected it. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, that's right. And then I got the job here. I remember, not the job, sorry, the assessment. The assessment, I was doing the whole Melbourne Days S&C thing, and there was bullying at the time. I'm like, I just don't know if it's for me. Did the assessment, whatever. I was training at the gym for a bit in my head, and I fucking manifested. I'm like, I'm getting a job here. We didn't have any discussions about it whatsoever. But then we got the job, and I told Mum, I'm like, Mum, I'll fucking show you, I'll show you.
Take that, Mum.
I definitely had similar internal thoughts about the old S&C. It's a tough one because I get a lot of coaches who, like even through the internship or just in Instagram or whatever, they ask like, oh, should I like private sector, private or elite sector? And it's a tough one to navigate, and you can't, like, I would wish I could just tell everyone, don't fucking waste your time with the elite sector. But for some people, they have to learn it themselves and they have to go through it. And I would like to think that it's changing and more opportunities are there and there's more like security within the jobs and in different, with other sports now growing and proliferating and actually starting to get, you'd think that it's improving, but I just don't know if it is. I'm not,
I wouldn't change a thing personally.
No, I'm glad I did it.
I think the best thing that I did for my career was work with the breadth of demographics. It was like the PT, the mid-40s mum. I could understand that. You know what I mean? Like that was a great thing because that made me understand real life. And then the S&C thing is how to deal with fucking some egos, how to structure, how to work with a volatile environment, whatever else. So I wouldn't change a thing. I do think that for me, seeking it as a like primary form of income and whatever else, that's where I'm gonna be like, I think there's a few guys now that have leveraged their positions in a way that have set themselves up, like Lockie Wilmot.
Oh, without a doubt.
One, Gray Morris was one.
Oh, yep.
Nathan Keeley, who's another one.
Yep.
I forgot which team he's working with, the rugby team.
He's at the Broncos, I think.
Broncos. And they're doing what they're doing there because you do get a rep. You 100% get
100%, yeah.
For working with them. Like, you're the guy that works in this thing.
You get a blue check.
You get a blue check. Do you?
No, you don't. But
Metaphorically,
it's a metaphorical, I've worked in,
It means something.
100%. But all these guys have been running concurrently their own business. Building up their own sort of thing. So I do think, although it's like maybe not, like if I was to do my time over, I probably would have leveraged my time better from that. Like,
what are you gonna?
If, but I do think there's a proper like vantage point you can get in understanding just volatility of training and structure and organisation.
Loops all the way back to Mladen Jovanovic, like that whole like bottoms up sort of set a variable. What does he call it? A robust plan.
Robust, complementary.
Complementary.
There's
training.
a diagram in it, so it's like the long term, the macro cycle is something that you touch on. So that's the top down. In the middle is the meso. So you've got some key outcomes you want to go from then, and then the microcycle is the bottoms up. And there's two triangles.
Yeah.
And that's how it all feeds in. So there is an element. So depending on the most sort of like micro view to most macro view, there is a complementary approach to that bottoms up and top down, which is fucking, it's sick. So it's not one or the other. We're not about dichotomies.
Yeah, greater than.
Except for on TikTok.
Except for on TikTok.
TikTok and social media.
Oh, social media is the best.
Yeah.
The social media is the best at the moment.
Yeah, you have to be aggressive.
Not
aggressive. You have to hook.
Everyone needs to
that
go
hook.
and
Everyone
watch.
fucking hates Didier.
Everyone hates me. That's all right. That's cool though. But everyone go and watch Pivotal Conversations, Sabri Subi. Really good episode. But there's a excerpt that they've put onto their Instagram. Very, very good video, very thought-provoking video about how to approach social media. And I think we're doing all right. I think we're doing what we need to be doing.
I absolutely love the last run of reels we had. So Jamie,
Some people have been checking in on me. You're all right. You know what? Hey, I'm like, look, it is what it is.
Are you actually getting hate though?
Some,
Yeah,
listen, mate,
bro. Had those three with the
there's
biggest.
hate, but shout out to the community, people I don't even know. Like, people will hate, and then people will go to bat for us.
Which ones are you getting hate on?
The activation one?
The activation.
But that wasn't at you.
No,
but you're the front man.
He's the front man.
We don't have to get into it.
So the funny part is, you go write 10 reels or whatever. We said, we're going to write them. So I write all these reels. I write fucking 10 reels. And then it was by chance, Didier's like, I'll go first up. I'll take these 3. And then of the 10 reels that we put up, you picked the most controversial, the ones that cop the most hate on it.
I play the game, you know? You got to.
Controversial Didier.
You got to swing. Nah, but like people will come and talk shit, which is fine. But then other people will go and like clap back at them like, crazy, you're doing our work for us. We love it.
Algo boosters.
Algo. We love the algo.
He copped it for his total. And then
someone said the wrong total. My total's not great, but they said like 40 kilos less than what it is.
The total comment.
Yeah, there was a total one.
That same dude, I don't know who you are, but he's like gone and like commented on like some other videos. Like he's like, oh, thanks for this fucking video, man. You're so intelligent. I'm like, thanks, bro. Like,
no, but do you know what the best part about the total comment is? That guy comments ripping your total, but then a guy with a bigger total came in and ripped it.
But he actually said, do you see how stupid this is?
Yeah. He's like, oh, my total's bigger than yours, therefore you're wrong. And I see how dumb this is?
Yeah. You got to be 8% shredded in total fucking 900 kilos to have an opinion.
Otherwise, you don't have an opinion. That's it.
The crazy thing is there is especially in the American, like those young lifters, there are some, like that is becoming the new standard. It's actually
nuts.
fucking scary how strong they are.
Like in Australia, like a 500 Wilks, like natty is like probably like top 10 ever, like to do it. Like there's very limited people. Whereas like fucking every second cunt in the USAPL is Wilksing 500 or dotsing, whatever you want to say.
Man, Flex has like 40 or 50 of them.
It's
like
nuts.
it's absurd.
It's nuts. Like the top 1 to 10 at nationals in a weight class will all be over 500.
So really, no one in Australia deserves an opinion.
Yeah.
No,
there's a
none
few.
of us.
There's a few.
There's
a few that
there's about 10.
Oh, there's about 3
And we're
people.
not in there.
Three.
We're not in there.
Yeah, we're definitely not in there, unfortunately. Which is
That's all right.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But thanks for listening.
Maybe we should stick to talking about stand-up
Maybe-
comedy
Maybe we
and local eats.
maybe we are in an echo chamber.
Oh, just gonna get on the sauce, boys. That's it.
Yeah, we do. Someone needs to get on the sauce. Someone here does. Maybe we can't push Charlie. He's a sponsored athlete.
Charlie's
I'll
fine.
do that.
Charlie's natty god. It's between you and me.
I think it's you. If someone does, it's going to be you.
I could probably get on TRT. I'm 30 now. I could probably get on TRT.
Just tell your doctor.
Yeah, boost me back to like 21 years old.
Tell your doctor you're feeling low energy. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Nikita's marker for me is we're gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First. That's fair.
There's kids first, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I threw out this freezing sperm argument, just like not a fucking
The things will do to jump on.
artificially
just-
inseminate.
You need to go one more holiday to Queensland, and I reckon you'll be first in line at the sperm bank.
Oh yeah, I got to stay out of Queensland.
Queensland, the Gold Coast is it's a dark hole of testosterone.
Yeah. What are your experiences been on it? Yeah, that's fucking mad. Sold. Thanks.
Every conversation up there, it was crazy. Do we have any other initial mistakes worth covering? The other one I wouldn't go back to because you said it and then you said the career development stuff. But let's go back to the nutrition side, which was jumping into a deficit and trying to be.
I did that as well.
Yeah, trying to be. I think that's something that's really common across even just clients onboarding. Like, should I bulk? Firstly, bulk a cut or whatever, but. They often want to lean towards, I want to get leaner first. It's like, well, hang on. Like, let's build some habits and get into training and see some progress, and then we can make a decision.
When I was 17, 18, didn't have the best rig, but I thought I was like fat. I wasn't fat, just needed to probably train a bit harder, eat more protein, blah, blah, blah. So I got down to like 71 kilos. And like in year 10, I was like 75. Year 12, I was still around that, like 75, 76. But year 12, I was term 3. Fucking you were tuna and rice. I was tuna and beans. Got down to fucking 71 kilos, and I was like, looking back, I'm like, fuck. I was training hard. I was training so much. I should have just been at least at maintenance. Like whatever, you live, you learn. But like anyone in that age bracket, unless you're like significantly overweight to the point that it's unhealthy, you don't need to cut. Just eat, train. You have to fucking gain heaps of weight, but at least be in a little bit of a surplus or at maintenance. Like, it's just unnecessary to be cutting. It's like, oh yeah, I'm shredded. It's like, yeah, but you're still skinny, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah. I definitely think at least like, because it is a bit daunting to jump straight into a surplus because we can't probably dive too much into it. I don't know if it crosses into psychology, but the body image side of it is quite difficult to navigate.
Especially at that age.
Especially at that age. I think it's changed a lot for men just with the shredded culture. Like the shredded culture with Instagram, it's just like, fuck, if you're not shredded, then what? Like you can't go to stereo, brother. Like it's like, fuck, man. So it is daunting. It is definitely daunting to want to go, I'm in a surplus, carrying a bit of body fat. I know for me, I was like on the chubbier side in primary school and whatever else. You get bullied or whatever, and it's like, oh, do I want to get into a surplus and carry extra body fat? So I think at minimum,
maintenance.
Or
small surplus. Like, just don't be losing weight. If you're 18, 19, new to the gym, don't be losing weight. Just at least be maintaining, maybe gaining a little bit. But then, because the problem is, like with all things, people think bulking. They think of like an out of season old school bodybuilder who's just fat. Like, I don't want to be like that.
Lee Priest.
There's the picture of him like eating rice.
KFC. No, it's not rice. It's KFC.
Yeah. But like always, those are the extremes. Like, you just have to not lose weight, and you'll see way better progress.
For sure, because I think for me, sitting at maintenance, because I think the two sort of prerequisites for gaining muscle and strength are probably going to be like your calories, but then protein and hard training. Protein and hard training, if you're hitting them at maintenance, you're going to get stronger.
Yeah.
And you're going to be gaining muscle. You don't have to be in an aggressive surplus to do so. Yeah, it becomes easier when in a surplus.
But it's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory. yeah, right, it'll be a slow rate of gain or whatever else. But then I find what happened, and this is the light bulb for me, is like, I feel fucking mad. Like I'm almost, it wasn't linear, but it was almost linear for a bit. I'm seeing gains. I feel amazing in the gym. Like I'm not getting as fatigued as quick. And that for me was almost like, Malaka, you got to get into a fucking surplus.
And then too much.
Yeah, and then no, not too much. I was good after that. Like, but it was just sort of like that intermediate step.
Went to Europe at 80, came back at 105.
Hey, don't worry about Europe. Europe is a different ball game altogether.
No, my claim to fame is the first cruise I went on. Let me think of the stats. 8 days, I gained 5 kilos.
Wow.
I went hard. All you can eat buffets all day. Just got my money's worth.
Didier in the carbohydrate rich pasta section.
That's it.
I wanted
Pastas.
you were nonos. Ma, hey ma.
Yeah, I'm not going to track that.
Yeah.
Yuck.
When you're in a you were like alluding to it, but life is just easier in a surplus. You got more energy. Like it's just easier.
For sure. And like that's like when, especially when we're looking at more like aggressive cuts, it's always a conversation with clients. Like, are you in a position for this to be viable right now? How's uni stress going? How's work? How's your state of mind? Because it's difficult to be in a deficit. And if you're going to do it properly and do it hard and try and get it overdone with sooner, like in a smaller period of time versus longer, you need to be ready for it, because there's no way about that it is challenging. And if you're not there, that's fine. Just sit at maintenance or be in a surplus.
And like when you're starting your and this is not just for like 18, 9-year-olds, us talking to ourselves 10 years ago or whenever it was, but 12 years ago for me. But when you're starting a new habit and getting into training, like if you're, let's say, mid-20s listening to this and you want to push your training and get started and build that habit of progressive strength training consistently and all of that, it will just be easier in a surplus, because you've got more energy throughout the day. It's gonna you have to worry less about food. Yep. You have more variety in what you can do from an intake perspective, more flexibility, like all of that. Like you if you're just starting out, you want to give yourself the best opportunity to build the habits and build the processes that come along with training, and it's going to be easier in a surplus.
Like we always talk about, whatever habit we're trying to form, trying to pile on 10 things at once is just not realistic. It's very rare that works well. So like whether it's training, nutrition, whatever it is, add layers. Start with one thing, do that well, then add another layer. Versus if you come in like, I'm going to train 5 days a week, I'm going to double my protein intake, I'm going to be in a deficit, it's unlikely that you're going to do all that. I'm going to, go for fucking 10,000 steps a day, I'm going to sleep 9 hours. Like, are you going to do all that and do it successfully and do it for a long period of time? Probably not.
Yeah. Literally, the first thing I get with clients straight off the bat, if they're coming to me and they've had like a spotty training history over the past 3 months, and they're like, look, I just want to get back into training and I want to do this with my body composition. The first thing that's done is let's suss what you're eating. There's no, we're in a deficit, we're in a surplus. Unless they're like, look, man, I got to be fucking ready for a wedding in 10 weeks. All right, different story. You can start to push it a bit harder. But if they're like, there's no real time frame, I want to get consistent with training again, I want to get just improve my nutritional habits and then get lean or whatever else. The first thing is let's just train and suss nutrition, and then let's make sure you're training hard enough and continue to suss nutrition. Once training hard is sort of satisfied and we can see that the person actually is, one, enjoying training, getting training done, training hard enough, then it's like, all right, let's get into a specific dieting phase. Because again, just less shit, like nailing a habit or developing a habit is much easier when there's less shit to worry about. Like
and even just from like an outcome standpoint, if you want to look better, which obviously most people who are getting into training, thinking about nutrition are, if your training kind of quality or quantity is a bit hit or miss, and we add the deficit on top of that, you're going to make it even less likely that you get that training in to the frequency and intensity that we needed. Versus you don't eat less food, maybe you just try and eat a bit better, eat more protein, train harder. You probably, even if you don't, your body weight doesn't change, you're going to look better
100%,
just because of
feel
that.
better.
More muscle
for sure.
Alrighty, moving on. The next question is from Metamorphosis Track Project.
Sick cunt.
Oh, really?
Fuck yeah.
Sick cunt.
Nice.
Yeah, big sick cunt.
Shouts out Metamorphosis.
No,
What?
You said metamorphosis.
Yeah, Metamorphosis Track Project.
Metamorphosis.
Morphosis.
Morphosis.
Oh, yeah.
Metamorphes.
Morphosis, yeah. Metamorphosis Track Project. Shouts out. I've heard on good word that you're a sick cunt.
Yes, sick cunt.
Like
Jack Edwards.
Jack Edwards, crazy.
Yeah. One of my favourite people to watch on Instagram's training.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just mad shit.
Oh,
He's got a bulk lying leg curl, like full stack lying leg curl. Yeah, and
well, like controlled, like
yeah,
Proper?
quality,
Or plenty of-
quality.
plenty
No, it's proper.
plenty of back day in
Like
that leg day.
No.
He's massive. He's massive.
Yeah, but he's a sprinter.
There you go.
Sprinter,
Yeah.
track coach,
Yeah.
like minging, like proper rig.
Minging rig.
Minging in a good way, like fucking like horse.
Yeah.
I've never seen or heard of a full stack.
Metamorphosis.
That's crazy. Shouts out.
It's fucking proper.
I'm jumping on.
3 plates aside, seated calf raise. He's just sick cunt, like Bugenhagen of track.
Mad.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's
What's
go.
the question?
All right. The question:
You're a mad cunt. What's your question?
Are there any exercises or lifts that you consider objectively shit, regardless of the context? Question mark. Goat emoji. So he's a loyal listener.
One arm prone trap raise.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Just done. No context.
I don't know. I just
I don't think I've got an answer to this.
Burpees would be the only one that fits in
No, but why?
No,
why?
no.
Let's talk about why burpee stretch. Just
because they offer nothing.
they offer nothing.
They offer nothing.
What don't they offer? What?
It's like a fucking lunge curl.
Lunge curl. You've ticked my box.
But it's like this. It's like the same thing. Like
I hate lunge
you
curls.
shit at everything.
See, we forget about. We're really scraping to the bottom of the barrel.
We're in our group fitness land.
We're in group fitness land. There was a time that lunge curls were
Because it's like
No
with
good.
the burpee, you're just overload
true.
push-ups or overload jumps somehow.
true.
Like
That's true.
make them.
Yeah, I would rather a lunge curl than a burpee. I would see a lunge curl if you're going down the metabolic route, like you want to get this group of
Can't we
group
just do
fitness,
lunges and then do curls? Like why does
get
it have to be
them
lunge?
puffing, huffing and puffing. I'm gonna go to a lunge curl more than I'm gonna go to a burpee.
They both suck.
They both suck.
So that's how far we have to go to find something that's objectively bad, like just real busted group fitness shit.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't really see most gym exercises done as that shit.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
It is fine. sorry, man.
So that's a shit answer.
Then what's something you hate just personally for just
Like you just don't enjoy doing?
full bias? Like why do you just hate something?
Most of the time, barbell rows because they just get butchered.
Yeah.
And there's often better options for the goal they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And most people do lower body training and they just probably create more
Yeah.
fatigue than we need to.
I think barbell rows is shit movement. I
I
don't
only
know. I
give
feel
it
like
to
they're
people
starting
with
to.
home gyms who are sick of doing one arm dumbbell rows, and then we try and do like a pen lay strict technique, but they just get butchered all
Yeah.
the time.
Charles and I used to slam bent over rows.
It's a mega choco movement.
It is choco.
I think.
I want to do something. I'm going to do
No,
something. tonight.
did you go double over or underhand?
Double under.
It depends if you want to bias that bicep. You know, like what do you
Yeah.
want?
I think they're a shit movement. They almost come under the burpee category, just in terms of Oh my god!
Maybe let's cut that out. Let's cut
That was some.
That's not getting cut.
That was some.
You're like looking
bro.
at it, ugh.
No, it didn't come out. It almost came out. Like I fucking tasted it. That was some phlegm. That's proper. But it's like if you train everything shit. You know what I mean? Like you're having a bit of core stability. Like you're trying to fucking get core involvement. You know, can't say you train that. Like I'm training core, but with this compound movement. Like
When I did them,
you're doing two things poorly.
my back and hamstring and glutes would hurt more than anything, just holding position well. And like my back's not even getting fatigued.
That's the good stuff, though. That's what you want. That right there. You want them
deadlift
like,
accessory. Yeah.
yeah, real bad. I don't think I have anything for just.
If you train.
Yeah, I've been training.
No,
I've been
also,
training.
like, not that shit, but you just don't like.
No, I don't think I have anything.
Because I wouldn't
Since-
I wouldn't want to do a barbell row.
Since
I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
since I've been covering shifts for like the last 2 months, there was the holiday shifts. Didier's away, Charles away, and then obviously you're with the foot.
Yeah,
I've
with
been
the gym.
training.
All right.
I've been deadlifting.
Deadlifting.
Been
What are we
deadlifting.
eating? What are we eating?
I've been hitting sits of 5 at 160.
Proper.
Come on the straight bar. Fuck the trap bar off. On the straighty.
Proper
Yeah.
deadlifts.
Doing real man deadlifts. You know? Yeah. But I haven't really. There's no structure to what I've been doing. Yesterday I slammed the pec deck and some pull downs. Been hitting some curl. Did some curls yesterday. Yeah.
Is there an exercise you just don't enjoy, Bouz?
I
Straight
really
off the top of your
think.
head.
I really think barbell bent over rows. I hate the hip thrust machine.
I love it.
I just don't like it.
I love it.
I just don't like. I prefer
I
a
don't like barbell hip thrust.
I prefer a barbell.
I've never enjoyed those.
I prefer barbell.
There you go.
B stance RDLs.
I love them. I do love
With
them.
dumbbells, I think are just poor. I think they're a poor movement.
You're off them.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I just think
I
for
must
a
admit,
lot of
I'm
people,
just not a massive B stance guy.
Yeah, look, I think a trap bar you can get it done well. I think with like if you understand the position, I think with dumbbells for a lot of people, like the amount of like the dumbbells become a limiting factor.
Yeah.
For people just to hold, you're better off with a trap bar, 100%. And then
I've
some
been
people
doing
just don't push
mine
it hard enough.
with rear foot feedback. I've found that the issue with dumbbells is they get big and they get fucking clunky, but the rear foot feedback straight away, it makes it so much harder that you don't really need to go that heavy. I think that offers a benefit.
But we're gonna go heavy.
Do we?
Always heavy.
We're going heavy
Always heavy.
on other exercises.
All right,
numbers.
next question. This will be the last question. Daniel.
Is this a third? Is this a third question?
Yeah.
We've milked them.
We've been rolling. Easy. Daniel Smisson, which I believe is one of your new
It
clients.
is.
Shouts out Daniel
Shouts
Smisson.
out.
Yeah.
Smizzer.
Smizzer. Smith. Will strength culture ever consider expanding interstate long-term wise? No.
Nah.
No, I'm sorry.
Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Yeah.
Only
Ibiza.
global.
So Charlie,
Yeah. We've got a Mykonos gym.
here's an old strength culture story for you. When it was just Charlie and I, this was the first winter. So we started July 1st. We opened the gym July 1st. So we didn't really count that as a winter. That was sort of like we were just fumbling around. And then we got through the summer. We got up to like 40, 50 clients. Started with 8. Picked up to like 40, 50 clients. And then everyone was like, oh, I'm going to Europe for the winter. I'm like, oh, crazy. We had more than 50% of our clients in Europe at one stage. And Charlie went as well. Charlie had a holiday. So it was literally me. I worked every shift for it was like a 3 or 4 week period. I worked every single shift in the gym, trying to grow the business, like early days, fumbling through everything. And when Charlie got back, I was defeated. Absolutely I was done. And in my head, I was like, I've bought all this gym. I thought we were literally over. I thought there's no way we're going to continue to do this. And I was like, I've bought all this gym equipment. How much do you reckon it would cost to fill a shipping container and ship all the gym to Bali? And we just moved to Bali, Charlie and I. And we open up what would be called Bali Strength Culture. And I actually looked last week when we were doing the...
No way.
So someone now has a Bali Strength Culture. There's a Bali Strength Culture.
They took your idea.
There's strength cultures everywhere now. Apparently there's a creator of strength culture from America who sometimes jumps in our DMs and stuff.
Flexible.
Yeah, flexible.
Yeah, I like his shit.
Yeah. He's got to get rid of creator.
He's got
strength
minging.
culture.
Yeah.
When's he been
He's got
using-
minging quads.
When did he
Show
start
your
using
receipts.
the phrase?
Show your
When's the
receipts.
receipts?
When's the
Yeah.
receipts of you creating strength
it.
culture? I'd
We
love
want
to know.
receipts.
But
He likes us.
no, he does. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but are ya?
Yeah.
Are you the creator?
Show us the receipts. But yeah, we were going to move to Bali, and then because everyone's like, oh, you got Melbourne, maybe you could do like a Sydney strength culture, whatever. No,
That's a hard no.
The only reason we got Melbourne was because somebody already owned strength culture as a company in
It
Australia.
was always supposed to be strength culture.
So it was always meant to be strength culture. We needed Melbourne so we could not encroach on them. And then, so no, there won't be another one. But I will say there will be there already is an online community from our clients all around Australia. But we plan on trying our best to expand that and really build out a culture / community part of what we're doing that will be housed online through a Discord. It's already starting to roll, but part of this is like the app thing that we've slowly been talking about, and some other back end ventures. So there will be things, but there will never be a physical location. Unfortunately, no, that won't happen. Yeah.
One of one.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of one. Number one. We're done. Anything you want to say? Nothing?
No.
DM for coaching.
Damn for coaching.
They always damn for
You already
coaching.
know.
Yeah.
Got 3 spots left.
3 spots remaining.
Always three
I always
spots.
have 3 spots left.
Always 3
Yeah.
spots.
Yeah, we're jumping
just for
quick.
this month.
Yeah.
And next month.
Yeah,
Maybe the
jumping
month
quick.
after.
But yeah,
Looking for
DM for
3 more
coaching
clients.
if you're interested. Otherwise, you can find us on socials. Please rate us 5 stars across the board. Both on. We're not against Apple anymore. Apple, Spotify would be great.
Spotify first, and then Apple.
And if you're still here at 49 or 48 minutes, whatever we're at, plus a few ads that will roll in, let's say 50 minutes, Leave us a comment. Fucking drop us a comment. Share it on social. We do appreciate your support. It means the world to us. It actually G's us up when people tag us and shit and tell us they're listening. We love it. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next week.
See yous.
Hello, boy.
Ciao.